A place where you feel good and where you want to perform for your fans, but it hasn't been lately. And if you think that's maybe had an effect on the team and how that gets turned around.
I didn't think it had an effect on us last game. I think because we were in the game, the fans were with us. The games that we've gotten down, obviously things have turned a different way, and I'm not going to lie, that's a tough place to play when you're getting it from your own fans. So I've always found anybody that tells you, the players, that it doesn't affect me, that's an utter lie. It has to affect you. So, but I thought last game our crowd was with us, and it was because we were in the game. So that's the main thing, is to be in the game, and once again, if we can score first, obviously that's gonna help.
Regarding scoring from a coach's standpoint, just more encouragement, or looking at video, what you might be able to do as a coach to help your players try and get a goal or two here at home?
Well, when you look at the chances from the Dallas game, you know, we've got two wide open nets where, you know, the goalie made a hell of a save. The other one, we hit the crossbar. Well, those are two tap ins usually. So I'm not buying into the we can't score right now. We're getting some good looks at their net. The one thing we worked on in practice yesterday was our cycle game, and it's something that maybe doesn't come naturally to our group. I think our group likes to attack off the rush more than anything, but we've got to establish a cycle game and spend more time in the other team's zone. And that doesn't even mean generating chances. Just being in their zone is so important. So, you know, we spent a good part of our day yesterday working on that, and that's something that we'll continue to work on moving forward.
Can you talk about the challenge of the Sharks? This is a big, strong team. They like to go hard to the net. Just how do you counter that?
Well, we're going to have to be on our game tonight, and this is a strong team with a power play with so many different looks. Sometimes you don't even know where to start with it. They're creative and deadly on that. So we can't get into another night where we're taking 5 or 6 penalties, especially when it's you know, the ones that don't do anything, the tripping and the holding and the hooking penalties. They don't do anything. It's either you're inflicting some pain or you're saving a goal. That's the way it goes on the penalties. So, but this is a team that we're facing, one of the top teams in the league for me. Just looking on the tape, very impressive with the pace they play, and with the heaviness of their game. They play a hard game, and this is what we have to aspire to be. But this will be we can't have any passengers tonight. It's got to be everybody all in.
With McIntyre and Gazdic seemingly getting closer, do one of them push their way into the lineup tonight? What do you see shaping up?
Yeah, Mac's not quite ready yet. Luke is ready, and he'll be a consideration for tonight.
Dallas, can coaches breed offensive confidence in players, do you think?
I think you can help it. I think confidence comes from, you know, some people will say, well, you know, you got to get your confidence back in practice. Well, practice is practice. You got to get your confidence back in the game. I think you can do certain things in practice to help your confidence. You know, there's things we can do with video and talking to the guys one-on-one that can help their confidence. But in the end, you have to always, for me, when it comes to scoring goals for these players, is you have to go back to the basics. Hit the net is a great start. Stop in front of the net, looking for those extra rebounds. Especially if you're a forward in the game, like if you're lucky, or not lucky, if you've worked really hard on any given night, you've had a pretty good night if you've had 3 scoring chances. Well, you have to be ready for that scoring chance. You might only get 1. and you have to be ready for it. It can't be, oh, you know what, I wasn't quite ready, or I didn't anticipate that. You have to be ready for it. And it's those basics that I always encourage our players to go back to, the basics of, listen, if you don't hit the net, the puck's not going in it. If you're not going to stop a net and look for the secondary chance and swing by the net, then that rebound will sit there by itself. And the last one is, you have to be ready for your chance. You might only get one chance the whole game, and you have to be ready for it.
A guy like Yakupov, could he fall back on what he knows he's good at? I'm a goal scorer, so I know how to score goals, so I'm going to make sure I get to the spots where I score the goals from. Is that what he's not doing, or is he not getting to those spots where a goal scorer would score from?
Well, it's hard to get to that spot when you're in your zone. So first we got to get out of our zone. We've got to get the puck back. That should be our main concern. And then once we do get in the offensive zone, that, yeah, you do get to those spots. You know, Yak can hurt a team off the rush. He's got speed. It's interesting. I was just reading a couple articles in where we don't have Yak in the right spot on the power play. They want him over on his offside one-timer position where he can shoot the puck. Well, that's where he's been all year. So I'm like, it's always interesting to me, the critiques of your team where a player, that's where he's been every power play. And then I wonder if the people writing the articles are watching the games.
Dallas, is that Justin Schultz close, or is he ready to go?
No, it's more of a chronic thing, I think, with his groin. It's way up high. It's in a tough spot close to the bone, and he was progressing well, and it doesn't take much to set these things off. And so he took a step back, was a little bit sore, so we shut him down, and then he didn't skate yesterday, I don't think. I can't remember. But we're just progressing him slowly again. But we miss him moving that puck out of our zone right now.
Do you like to read about your team, or you see articles? Is this something just you come by accidentally, or do you like to sort of see what's being said, or how you kind of handle that?
Yeah, well, if I have a few minutes, I always like to see what's, you know, I know my players are reading it, and so I think it's always important for me to see what they're reading and how, and my main concern is always, how is it affecting them? So if there's an article about this player or that player, if it's in a positive light, a negative light, doesn't matter. At least I know what's going into his brain away from the rink. I'll be honest, I haven't been able to read a ton, but this morning I had a few quiet minutes in there, and I was sifting through some stuff, and yeah, so I think it is important to try to take it in. The problem is, especially in a Canadian market, there is so much being written and said and on radio, TV, that it's impossible to track it all down. It's impossible to actually sit there and read it all.
Dallas, did Craig say how the meeting went with Igor Larionov?
I was unaware that they had a meeting.
Igor said he was talking to Craig yesterday.
Well, whatever Igor says, it must be true.
That was in the 50s with the Canadians. Dick Irvin famously, when the team wasn't scoring, the team of Robert Richard, Pello, and so forth, he brought a net in the locker room. He did a
Soccer size?
Just a normal Art Ross net. And he did a whole little show and tell with the puck, small puck, big net, to try to de-block. They were in a slump, scoring slump. You're a comprehensive, obviously very cerebral coach. Would you ever do something quirky like that?
Yeah. And I'll give you a quick story. When I was the assistant, and it's not the exact same. When I was the assistant coach with the Leafs, we had a player there, Alex Dean, and I'm not exaggerating this. This kid had hit like 25 posts and crossbars. Was having trouble scoring. Can't score. Well, imagine that. You can't score, but you've hit 20 to 25 posts and crossbars. That tells me he can score. And the one quirky thing I did with him the one day, after practice, I brought him down and I said, no, come here, closer to the net, close to the net. And the conversation was literally 10 seconds long. And I got him down on his knees, and we were both on our knees on the goal line, right in the net. And I just asked him, I go, do you see how big this net is? It's huge. It's a huge net. Can you not just put the puck in it instead of hitting these posts? So it was more of a comical thing, but yeah, I'm not adverse to it. Anything that's going to help my team, I'm open to it. But bring it on. And now you've given me a tool that I'm going to go maybe look that up and see if we can use it.
How long did it take to score after that?
I can't remember, but he seems to be scoring quite fine right now.
I think he'd be like this right now.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he's an excellent person. Yeah, and you always knew he'd find a way to have a good career.
On a totally unrelated front, when you maybe need a laugh, do you go check out to see what Rob Ford's saying today?
Well, it's one of those things you almost wish you could transplant your team into a market where the mayor is pulling those kind of antics. Certainly the heat would be a little bit less on us and more on him. But I will say this: I do admire his. He is not fearful. I will say that. There's no fear in his game. That's for sure.
Thank you.